Hello, ma'am. I'm Nirali from India's first school media center, EFA Media Center. So, can I have an introduction?
Yes, hi, I'm GARGI Rawat. I'm with NDTV 24/7, which I've been a journalist, environment journalist and news anchor there for the last 20 years.
Yes. So, in morning also, your session was there with Neerja, ma'am.
Yes.
So, how you're feeling?
So that was wonderful, and especially because Nirja ma'am has been somebody who's had a ringside view of the country's politics, of so many prime ministers that she's seen. She had so many notes, so many insights into how our prime ministers made such key decisions. And it was, that book that she has written, How Prime Ministers Decide, is really it's a treasure for anyone interested in the country's history, in understanding politics, and because so many issues that were decided so many decades ago are still relevant today. If we talk about the caste issue with VP Singh and Mandal, and then of course Babri Masjid, Ram Mandir, that's something that even today dominates politics and minds. Yes.
So, that was a great session. I also attended that. And you have one book which you wrote, The Tiger Season, I think.
Tiger Season.
Yes.
So this book is based on my experiences as an environment journalist. With NDTV, we had a great opportunity to cover a lot of issues around wildlife conservation, tigers. We had Save Our Tigers campaign. I'm very lucky that NDTV gave space to environment and wildlife issues. So it's based on my experiences. As you must, if you've read about wildlife issues, man-animal conflict is a big issue that's happening around many of our tiger parks. Madhya Pradesh is a tiger state. You have so many wildlife parks, but in the peripheries there's always some conflict if tigers go and kill cattle or if they kill humans. So my book is inspired by certain events that happened, and I want to give people an understanding of many issues that go into it. So one cannot, very often we say people are like, save the tiger, don't remove the tiger, why are we doing this, that? But you've got to understand that the villages who live around tiger parks, they're as important to the conservation story. So even they should be kept in mind. Somehow I feel that we have a very elitist attitude. People sitting in cities think, koi baat nahi, ab tiger, maar diya to kya hua? But imagine if somebody came to Delhi and killed somebody. I know I wouldn't, it's so one has to have that empathy with the poor. So I've just tried to talk about these issues in a fun way. There's Bollywood in the book. There's romance as well. There's adventure. So I've tried to, in a fun way, talk about various issues.
That's so grateful. And you are being a part of, we can say, journalism or media for, I can say, decade. So,
over 2 decades.
Yes. So how was your experience?
Well, I've actually seen quite I've seen how it's evolved. When I joined, there was no internet as such. There was no, we started ndtv.com, and at that time, we used to be like, kya.com website. Dr. Pranoy Roy, my boss for many years, would tell journalists that you do your story for television and then you write it for online. And look at today, people want their stories to go online first before, rather than television, because young people like you are not watching TV news as much, but you're getting it all on your phones. Social media, one has seen, has really evolved. But unfortunately, I think Indian journalism and the news channels, there's been a lot of change. We spoke about it in the session also. It's a lot of one-way street. We cannot question the government as much. We can't question the ministers as much. Abhi Mahakumbh chal raha hai. There was a stampede. I felt it. We didn't cover it like we used to cover and ask questions like we used to ask. And it happened at 2 a.m. It was only at 6:30 in the evening that the police told us 30 people have died. And even now people say that it's possibly more. And it's interesting that now on social media, I'm seeing a lot more coverage of what happened in the Kumbh than I'm seeing on, the traditional media, if you call it that, on news channels. So that's an evolution of the news right now, and also how maybe the news is not doing its duty as it should.
That can be true. And ma'am, as being a journalist, a message for our future journalists, or we can say media people.
Well, be true to yourself, be critical thinking, I think, is very important for your generation. You must don't just go by what is being fed to you, always question. understand our country and our history, because it's if you're being told certain things and just accept it. And unfortunately right now WhatsApp news is a big thing, WhatsApp history is a big thing, but it's very important that you read as much as you can from, there's so many texts. If people are criticizing Nehru, go read about Nehru and try to also understand that the India that Nehru inherited, everybody thought would fail.
Yes.
The British said ye nahi kar payenge. Where? Because look at us, we're a country full of caste, regionalism, different languages. It seemed impossible. But because of Nehru's own charisma, of course he made mistakes. At that time, the thought was socialism.
Yes.
Capitalism was considered evil. But it's easy. Hindsight is 2020. So now we can sit and say, oh, this was wrong, that was wrong. But try and understand that.
It was good.
That's what I'm saying. So every leader, be it Vajpayee ji, VP Singh ji, whatever, just try and understand our history, try and understand the context, what was happening in the world at that time. So it's very important that don't accept what you're fed on your phone or on your WhatsApp. Try to think what's the background and try to read a lot more. I think that would be my advice.
That's so sweet of you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.